is not my typical video here. I'm not in exactly work attire, but I figured I'd run out here because I've been thinking about this a lot. This is an OEM spring compressor. OEM, that's OEM Tools. That's a really incredible name for a Chinese company. They do this a lot too. OEM Tools, that's the name of this company. Coil spring compressor set 37200 is the number. Comes in this green case, at least it does right now. It's cheap. I mean, it's like 30 bucks, and it's actually a decent tool. It's actually a decent tool. But I read a lot of the comments on the reviews on Amazon. I'll link to this thing in the description. And so many people said that you have to cut it down. And I was like, these people just don't know what they're doing. Now they do. So, so let me show you what's going on here. They make this thing, I think, so that you can do a 3/4 ton spring. In fact, I have a 3/4 ton spring. They give you this gauge that tells you cannot use it on anything bigger than, okay, so look at that. So they're not thinking you're going to use it on a 3/4 ton. But it's probably a 1/2 ton. 1/2 ton will fit this because this just misses it. I mean, I could probably nail this thing with a hammer and it probably goes on. But yeah, so this is the gauge that it comes with. So a 1/2 ton spring will work for this. But what they do is, what I think they're doing is that they're giving you the length for a 1/2 ton spring. This spring is for a 95 Grand Cherokee, so a ZJ, and the spring is too long, and I'm sorry, this spring is too long. The bolt is too long. You can't get it out. Think about it this way. It's like this. Imagine this thing is in here. We put it in. So you can see it compressing now. Now here's the thing, is that once you're in there, this is barely compressed, so it's not dangerous for me to be working on it like this. It's nothing gonna really happen here. So, and also you can see how this is compressing sort of on an angle, and that is because, see how close this is here and how close this is here? It really needs to be more straight, but we're just doing this for example purposes. When the spring is in like this, how do you get the stupid thing out, right? Well, the first thing is and remember, you don't have an impact. So you're doing this very, very slowly with an open-ended wrench probably, or a socket you can probably get in there. And let's do it with this quickly. Right? So now there's no tension on it. You're like this. It's all covered. There's no way to get this thing out. So the first thing you need to do is you need to get this piece off. All right? Which is difficult. I can tell you that. It's hard. So what you're going to do is you're going to maneuver this so that it's like that, right? And then obviously I'm going to do it like this just because we want to do it quickly, but you're not going to have this option, the impact. You're going to hold this like this. Right? Remember, you're not going to be able to go past this spot because it's going to be like this. Now you have this thing out. Right? It's like this. You can mess with it until it falls out, right? Obviously, you can see how this can come out. Oh, we can get this out of here just like this, right? Now you're left with this. Again, you can get this part out. All like a gettable thing you can do. And now you're left with this. Okay? This is what you're left with. If you think you can get this thing out, you can't. You see this? The angle, this is why it being shorter is really important. So here's what I think you should do if you got this thing. Before you go and put this thing in there, get yourself a bunch of extensions. Find the length So this is just about that length. So let's remove this. Look at that, a little bit shorter, right? Now put this in here. It's also going to be a little bit, a 1/2 inch extension's a little bit bigger, but it's very close here. You put this in and you see if you can get this out. You see this? Maybe go up one, up another. See that? It's very close. It's really close. Now, clearly, if I cut it down by this much, I mean, we're definitely getting out of there. See that? Simple. But I don't want to cut it down that much. So it's somewhere in between that and there. So maybe I cut it down, like right here. All right, I have this piece on here just to hold it in place. Again, I'm going to take off. You know, maybe I'll take off 2 inches just to be safe. Should we put a face shield on? I could tell you I'm putting a face shield on and then not put it because you're not going to see. But I will. I have a face shield on. Let's do it the right way. Pretty good job. I don't think there's going to be any problem with unscrewing this. I cut it right on the money. Yep. We got it in here. And we're going to move it up to here. Hopefully I don't have to cut this again. I might though. Nope. Look at that. That is perfect. I mean, you couldn't get any better than that actually. If I would have went an 1/8 inch longer, it probably wouldn't, it might have worked if it an 1/8 inch longer. But that's it. Perfect. Let me get that piece that I took off. Yeah. Now, this is a good question. Let's say you got a big truck and you also got a sedan and you want to use this on both. You're not going to be able to really. If you really like this tool, you're going to have to buy 2 of them. You're going to cut one down and then, and that's it. That's the only thing you can do. Let's put this thing back in and let's make sure it still works. I actually think it's going to work better. All right, now I think I have compressed that enough to get it in my particular case. But I still have probably another 1/2 inch of threads I can do. And then obviously I can move it up 1 notch. We're in good shape. Now again, let's do it again. I'll speed it up for you. And you're gonna do this. Let's see if I can get it out of this one. You see? I can't really get it out of this one, right? It's this one that I can get it out of. That's important to know. If I wanted to get it out like this one, I would have to cut more off. You have to decide what's right for you. My particular case, that's it. All right, hey, this thing is better now. I understand why they did it, but they could actually make some money if they sold 2 different ones and made it easier for people. And they said they have a truck one and like a sedan one or something like that. I would have ended up getting the truck one, still had to cut it down. But if you know you have a sedan and you have a small spring, then just cut it down. They can make some more money like that. Or they can sell a kit too with 2 different ones, 2 different bolts. Same, right? That's the label right there. And 37-200, I'll link it in the description. It's a decent spring compressor. It works. It works. And you can modify it to work with pretty much any car, really. So, but you have to modify it if you're going to use this on a sedan, without a doubt. Sedan, coupe, whatever. If it's not at least a crossover, I would say even a crossover, you might even have to. The 95 Cherokee, I would consider like a crossover, but maybe a hair bigger than a crossover. Like a Forester, you're going to have to modify this. So, all right, everyone. See ya.